title is Taming the Tongue. And so I gotta share, we went on this staycation thing, and so we got back like on Thursday, but I found out, well, it was nice, but we only had internet when we was in the room. We went out, they never had internet, and it was harder to work there than it was to work at home, I tell you. But it was great. Bunch of our church families are all doing different things this Saturday, so keep them in prayers. There's all different stuff you gotta take care of. But nonetheless, the message tonight is speaking about our language, the way we talk. I shared a story with you guys before concerning me as a child when I was playing with the lighter and was living in a house at by Singapore in London Cooley. And we had bunk beds, and in those bunk beds, they had the old fiber that kind of looked like pig's hair, yeah? And so I would light them and see them burn and turn off, right? And then one time it didn't turn off, started to keep burning, so I went boom, and that just ignited the whole thing, right? And so, finally got it out, a big black spot underneath, yeah? And I was just totally freaking out because, I was like, man, we almost died, yeah? And then I really thought about it. Now my mom will come home, she's gonna find out I will die. Yeah, my mom was really the kind, she cracked you kind. So I wanted to share that story because that's how fast a fire can spread. Just one little spark can cause the fire to ignite in a way that becomes uncontrollable. We see it all the time on our mountains, right? Right now we get up green mountains, but how many of you guys waiting for the thing dry up, and then after dry up you guys say, okay, pretty soon somebody will burn them, right? And then if half, if not all of the mountain get burned, right? I mean, we wait for that every season. It's like clockwork, green to brown fire, green, brown fire. It's just a clockwork for us out here. And depending on the winds and everything, it determines just how bad that fire will spread, but it spreads pretty rapidly. Well, James 3:5 says this: our tongues are small too, and yet they brag about big things. It takes only a spark to set a forest fire. So, we have heard a saying that as kids, that's supposed to make you feel better, right? And knows that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. How many of you guys learned that that's not so true? Yeah? Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can't hurt you. In fact, they break your spirit, which is so much more different. Because, a lot of times we see that a broken spirit is the cause for many dysfunctional habits in a family, in a person, leading up to suicide, right? And so that saying is really not a true saying at all, because a bone, you can mend it, you can heal it, but once the spirit is broken, it's always going to be scarred. You ever notice that? Somebody scar you guys, and you guys see them, and you guys feel safe and feel protected, right? You guys don't allow that scar to get scratched or anything like that, right? And now it's not just with them; it's with anybody that even get close to that area of your life. So the truth is that words does hurt, and we need to watch what we say. Proverbs 25:15 says, Be patient and calm spirit, a ruler may be. By patience and a calm spirit, a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft and gentle tongue breaks the bones of resistance. Okay, so what this is saying is that, it's easier to break somebody's heart or get to somebody with gentle words than harsh words. I think it's safe to say all of us, once somebody come up with a harsh word, our walls go up and we're ready to fight. And after that happens, we don't want to hear nothing. Anything you got to say is a fight already, right? And so this verse is saying that if we would watch what we say and how we say it, we can set a stage for great things to unfold that's what this is all about, relationships, right? Because relationships is a sign of us as disciples of God. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, disciples of Jesus, I should say. So, tonight we're going to look at 6 negative aspects of the tongue. And I think when we talk about it, we will find ourselves probably owning up at least 2 of them. You know, and when we look at this, we're going to see that words hurt, it tears down people, and it damages people's lives. Knowing this, hopefully, we should change the way we speak. So the first is flattery. You know, it's a negative use in the sense that it's only used to make somebody else feel good so you can get what you like. How many of you guys ever tried flattery before? Yeah? Just to get what you like, yeah? So Proverbs 28:23 says, "He who rebukes a man will in the end gain more favor than he who has a flattering tongue." So what is flattery? Flattery is just an excessive praise, insincere compliments. You know, you say stuff you don't really mean because you like getting pals, right? You like them like you, but you really don't like them. You could care less. I mean, in fact, they probably irritate you, but you will lie to repeat how wonderful they are, right? And the problem with this is that, you know, we do it to gain favor. We know it in a better way, yeah. We change the language a little bit, yeah. We call them suck-ups, yeah. We all been suck-ups before, right? We play the game to get favor. But the problem with that is that it really means that we're lying. That we're liars, right? But we don't see it that way because we're plotting, right? That's one of those things, once we start getting that, we don't add Jesus in the picture because then the conviction starts to happen. So we leave Jesus out while we plot and we suck up and we, oh, you're so good. And then you bring and say, you suck, you know? But you want to gain something from that relationship, so you say stuff to make sure that you put yourself in a place where you're going to be able to get what you need out of it. Well, the Bible condemns dishonesty. In fact, we read in the Bible and we find that it's a sin, right? So it's dishonest for us to build up somebody's, another person, I should say, just so that we can gain something from them. And I want us to understand this, you know, just if you are in love with the Lord and you worship the Lord with all your heart, you will have favor by God. God will open up doors and people in your life in such a way that whatever needs to unfold in your life for a blessing will happen. You don't have to try to outbeat God's plan, alright? But God does demand that we are honest about our words to people we speak to. That if, you know, God goes, you know, I cannot stand you. In fact, I hate you. I just wanted to let you know right away. That's not godly. You know what I mean? There's other ways is, you know, like, hey, we're not going to be best friends, and that's cool. But you don't need to make it a big point. I think they already know when you guys are not best friends, right? And so we got to be careful because our job is to always encourage people, even when they're not very encouraging, even when they're nasty. And I find it's very difficult at my job because I'm not. Like I said, I'm so different now than I was before. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Hey, God bless you. Don't bother me. And if I don't like you, I don't like you. You know, God bless you. You know, just one of those ways that I am now. But I still have to be careful to not be ignorant just because I don't like somebody. So at work we deal with this a lot because you got a lot of people backstabbing you all over the place. As soon as you turn, you get a knife in your back. Turn the other way, another knife, yeah? So you got to use wisdom. You can take the knife out and fly it back at them when they turn around. You know, do unto others as they do unto you. Yeah, we kind of use scripture that way. But what I've learned is that, you know what? If they don't backstab me, then that's fine. Because that's not really being backstabbed if I know. Yeah? So I can either kill them with kindness or fall to their game and become ugly. I decide to kill them with kindness. You know? And this is where I have to be careful, because this is where we come draw that fine line of flattery just to gain their favor. Yeah, I don't flatter anybody to gain favor. I just be courteous to them, civil as God calls us to be. But I'm not a person that will flatter anybody I don't like. That's crazy for me. Or because they can give me something. I really got to the point where I understand that God has favor on me, and if I need something, He'll get it to me. Yeah, I don't have to try to manipulate any system or God to try to get what I think I need. Does that make sense? And so when it comes to people, we gotta be like that. We gotta watch that we don't use flattering words to just gain something. If we catch ourselves using that type of language, or that type of manipulation, we need to pull back and we need to pray. Right? Because we're no longer trusting God. And by not trusting God, we're becoming dishonest. By becoming dishonest, we're sinning. And by sinning, we're putting a wedge in our relationship with Jesus. And people don't think about it because they go, it's so small. But if the faith of a mustard seed can move mountains, how much more a seed of sin can tear down a human's life? Right? Same concept. It only takes a little seed to grow before it becomes an issue or a blessing, depending on what that seed produces. So the first thing is be careful with flattery, right? And I think we all can say, it's safe to say that we all know when we playing this game, right? How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? How many of you guys know you guys play the game? Anybody here? Nobody play the game? Hey, come on. Yeah. I know Jason played the game already. Put your hands down. Put your 2 hands down. But all I'm saying is, be careful, because this becomes sin. And what we think is working will soon enough destroy what is good. It's really serious stuff. Okay? The second negative use of our tongue is gossip. Proverbs 16:27-28. Scoundrels, I got tongue twisted. Create trouble. Their words are destructive plays. A troublemaker plants seeds of strife. Gossip separates the best of friends. Now, that is so true. Gossip will tear any relationship apart, and it will damage that relationship to the point where, for many, there is no recovery. Right? Because of the pain. Like I said, our bones hurt when they get broken, but our spirit, once it's broken, it is damaged. And it takes a lot of healing through Jesus Christ for us to mend in the way that it doesn't leave a scar. Yeah? You see, that's the difference. When we are healed by Jesus, there's no scar. But when we heal on our own, there's a scar. And the scar is a constant reflection of the pain we suffered. Because of that pain, we are constantly aware of anybody getting too close to that area. But when Jesus Christ heals us, there is no scar, right? So we heal in a way that, I'm transformed, and now I'm willing to wear my heart on my sleeve again. One of the things is in church, it's hard. We've heard this before, I'll say it again. In church, everybody thinks that it's a perfect place. But it's not the perfect place. It's one of the craziest places, because everybody here have issues, just like the world. But instead of us behaving like the world, and the world will say, excuse my language, but up yours, right? Here we say, I think we ought to fix this, right? And I know that's what God is saying, but I don't want to. So we can tend to run and do everything else we're supposed to, even leave the church instead of fixing that. Why? Because it hurts that bad. But only Jesus, through His wonderful grace and mercy, can heal us to the point where, when I say there's no scar, it doesn't hurt anymore. It is crazy how many times in church, the church circle, I see people hurt. But it is also crazy how many times I see people are healed to the point where that relationship is mended. Where I look at it and go, crazy or what, But that's what crazy love is, right? Crazy love is, I love you past the pain and past the hurt because you are worth it to love. That's what Jesus did, right? And so that's what we need to do. But gossip is a very, very, very destructive tool. And if we're not careful, we can do more damage than good, not only to our relationships here on earth, but also our spiritual relationship with Jesus. Because now we don't only become someone that goes, oh yeah, look, that's how they are. And then what? They're Christians, so that's how Christians act. So Jesus get a bad rep because of us, right? So we got to be careful. In fact, I heard of a story where somebody uses the church as a tool to, behave a certain way. And the way they behave is absolutely nothing that's written in the Bible. There's no excuse for that behavior. But what they've done is cause people to look at Christianity and say, that's why they got something for me. The sad thing is they just forget that we're human beings and we gotta be careful. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? But we gotta be careful. We have to be Christians. We tend to gossip amongst each other and we call it a different name though. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah? Okay, you guys will know in a second. I have a prayer request. Steph is having problems right now. Okay, and she's having problems with and so, okay, we pray for her. Okay. Well, I need more prayers. One, can you pray with me? I have a prayer request. Steph is having problems. And so now what happens? The prayer request, because that's what we're supposed to do is prayer. So Father is saying, well, I got to pass on this prayer. It's important because there's power in prayer. I understand that. But this has nothing to do with power. This is called gossip in the name of Jesus. The problem with this is that we're giving Jesus a bad rep because we get a bad mouth. Talk when we're out of the quiet. I found this illustration that was really cool. And I want to refer gossiping to something that people will freak out when they hear. And the heart behind this is to do exactly that. I want you to seek gossip, and I want you to, in fact, I want you to change the word gossip into the word cancer. Alright? When we hear that word, we all get shaken up. This is a nasty word, a destructive disease, right? And we've lost many people, loved ones, because of that. Okay, let me tell you this story. One day a man went to a priest and confessed that the Lord had recently convicted him of gossiping. And he wanted to know what he could do to make it right. The priest told him to go to the top of a mountain, rip open a feathered pillow, turn the feathers loose in the wind, and then come back the next day. So the man did as the priest told him. He went up to the top of the mountain, tore open the feathered pillow, and scattered the feathers into the wind. The next day he went back to the priest and asked what he was to do next. The priest told him to go back and collect all the feathers. The man complained that it would be impossible to collect all those feathers that were scattered everywhere. The priest turned around and said, that is exactly my point. You see, once you begin to gossip, the word spread, scattered in the wind, and can never be retrieved. You don't know where they're going to go. You don't know where they're going to land, and you have no idea who it's going to hurt. How many of you guys ever been part of a gossip thing? Anybody? Yeah, it should be everybody. Yeah. And what happens is it goes out and you think it's done, right? They just kind of like for the moment and then slaps you right in the back of your head. And somehow you're stuck right in the middle of it. And like, whoa, what just happened? You guys ever got that? Not so good. Right? And so here, the Lord is telling us that gossip is bad. In fact, the Lord puts it in scripture. It goes, before taking the speck out of somebody else's eye, take the log out of yours. And I love the references that the Lord used, and the words that He used, I should say. The speck, something small for somebody else's life, and something huge, the log from your life. You know, too often, it's easy for us to see somebody else's mistakes, while all along living with our own. And then you might say, no, but I see my mistakes. Well, there's a difference from seeing and doing something about it, and seeing and doing nothing about it. In fact, the reason why we like to point out other people's problems is because it makes us feel better about ours. Right? Oh, my auntie keep going. She had 20 boyfriends. I just have 3, right? Yeah, we can, they went over there and they go buy them this and they buy them. They don't have money like that, right? And because I'm jealous because I like to spend money but I cannot, or I cannot buy as much as they bought, right? We have this competitive spirit. You know, what do you think they got, keeping up with the Jones from? You think that just was on saying that came? No, we are nasty people, right? And you can tell by our society. Go to school, everybody using the same design. Why? That's the stuff that's in. So they'll pay $30, $40 for pants that everybody else is using. If I'm going to pay $40, that thing better look different than everybody else's one. Right? If that's the case, Uncle Ross's will get one $10 pants that look just like that, But it's all about style. It's all about looking the same. Because if you get that, I get that, then we categorize the same. Right? And so, it's a bad place to be. Now, Jesus said, my disciples, I love this because he goes, my disciples will be known by the way they love each other. So when we love each other, then shouldn't we be talking kind words to each other? Don't get me wrong, we gotta correct. Right? If somebody's doing something wrong, we gotta go say, I don't think that's right. I don't see that being biblical in any way, and it's causing more harm than it is good. Oh, you're condemning me. No, I'm just telling you what I see. You like talk about me, but what about your life? I'm not saying anything about my life. I don't claim to be perfect. I'm just saying, as somebody who loves you, I gotta tell you something is wrong. Here's the thing, as somebody who loves me, right? Steph loves me as her brother. She would get mad, jerk, some other words, I don't know. But when she goes on, she's gonna think about it, why did it get me so mad? Because it's true, he never had to tell me. I never asked him to tell me, right? Or mind his own business. Why we get so defensive is usually because it's true. And if I'm not gonna deal with it, how dare you point it out to me? Well, I love you as my sister to tell you the truth. You ought to love me enough to receive that. You don't have to like me as like I don't like you. You don't have to like me. You just have to receive out of love what is written in Scripture. Now, if somebody comes up to you and says something, and they say, I believe God is saying this, and you disagree, then you have them point it out in the Bible. If you think they're judging you, then have them point it out in the Bible. Anytime the Lord sends somebody to correct somebody else, the Lord will give Scripture. I've never seen anybody go, the Lord told me, so I'm going to tell them, and then they go tell them, and the person, like, oh, who told you? Oh, God? Yeah, so what God have to say? I don't know, I was just afraid and I felt it. I don't care about what you felt. You tell me what you know, because the God we serve has all wisdom and knowledge. He will give you the insight to what I need to hear in order that I straighten myself up. Does that make sense? We get scared to correct people because, what if we wrong? Well, here's the thing. If you honestly trust in God and you have Scripture, when you put it out there, they might get offended. They might not. Most often, they get offended. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. Now, once you deliver that, that's not your kuleana. What they do with it, whether they spin it in the air, throw it in the trash can, or receive it, that's between them and God. So you shouldn't get offended if they don't like it. He wasn't giving it so that they would taste good. He was giving it so that they could hear what God was saying. Simple, right? But what keeps us from doing that? We're ashamed. We're scared. Right? And, we start doing this. Well, I'm going to tell them that, but what about what I get going on? Sometimes some people I run into, I don't like to tell them because my life's not so great. Well, I don't know anybody's life that is perfect. But we are perfectly in love with Jesus, that when He speaks to us, we need to be obedient. Right? And if the Lord can use all messed up people to start a church, I think He can use messed up people to continue to run the church, as long as they are messed up and in love with Him. Big difference, right? Now, I think the question we need to ask ourselves when we get stuck in that area is, can people tell if we are disciples of the Lord? Because if people can recognize this love, because people recognize this love different from any other type of love, they'll come up with, oh, you're a Christian, I can tell. It's not because we have the Shekinah glory of God shining on you. I mean, possibly could be. I don't know. But it's the way we behave. People see a difference. And there was something different about you. Everybody's acting like this, but you're the only one acting weird. And that's what it's going to be called. You're acting weird because you're not like everybody else. Well, according to Scripture, we're not like everybody else. We are different. And so we should have a different behavior. Third, it is damaging when we use angry and hurtful words. I love this because in the local community, this is a form of love language. Right? I hate you. I love you. I yell at you. I love you. Right? I've been mean to you. I love you. We get stuck with this really weird type of love language. It has it's really not love language. It is horrible, right? But, you had, oh, man, you're joking. And I have a friend that bowling done. Husband says, like, really not so nice stuff to the wife. And that's his love language. I'm like, wow. I hate to see what he said when he hates you, you know what I mean? And we start to think that that's okay. But that's not okay. Right? it's really sad how many times I hear people using hurtful words when they're speaking to each other. Right? And the sad thing is that they may not think you know it, but you know when they're hitting below the belt. We did it. Right? Sometimes you never gotta hit. Just watch the eyes. Yeah? Hawaiian hula, they tell you watch the hips. No. You're like this guy, you watch the eyes. The eyes tell a story. Right? You get the eyes, I'm going to kill you when we get home. Get the eyes that we're going to start killing you right now. Right? Get the eyes that you better shut up. Right? And I mean, how many of you know what I'm talking about? Right? Because if not, it's going to happen right now. And so, you know, our angry and hurtful words that we use is really destructive. And I'll try to get my point across. Well, what's the sense of getting your point across when it's going to get so heated, your point not going to be heard? Yeah, the only thing you're going to be hearing is all the wonderful French languages that is out in the world. You know, possibly a couple hits here and there, you know, a couple yells to the mountain and where you ought to go and all that stuff. So, does it make sense? So that's why in Scripture we are told to communicate with love. Right? That we'll communicate with positive words. You know, I understand this because when Keller and I got together, we actually had to go to a counseling, marriage counseling, because we never have nice words. We don't have, we had all the French words, right? The ones that really tell somebody how you feel, right? And there's the one that when you're really, really angry, you use that and go, oh, you like fight them, so we had that kind of. So we had to go through this marriage counseling, and for us when we went, it was like, this is stupid, right? They gave us fighting words. What we could use and what we couldn't use, and all negative words we couldn't use. And it was like, that's stupid fighting, you know what I mean? Like, you fight with negative words, right? And so they were saying, exactly. And I was like, so what's the purpose then? You know, I mean, fight is to fight, you know? And said, well, the goal is not to fight. I don't know, but you want to fight, you know? I mean, there's something wrong. I mean, if you want to fight, you don't use words you don't want to use, words that don't want that you fight, you know what I mean? I was getting all the time, and I was like, maybe you guys should do it because you guys are more seasoned Christians than us, but we're not there yet. It's actually kind of boring, you know? But we stuck with it, and we had a couple more counseling, more than we probably should have had as normal couples. But eventually we learned how to fight fair. So, you know, we never cussed and used any type of bad language for a long time towards each other. But we are very straightforward about you're irritating me. You need to get away, right? I need space and stuff like that. So it's really different now. And our boys, they think we're scrapping like ghetto scrapping. And me and John, when they were sitting there, was laughing because they laughed. You guys shouldn't be yelling. And it's like, oh. Went out, we okay. We thought they went out. We started laughing. We were like, wow, they thought we was like ghetto fighting. You know what I mean? And we were like, this is like so joke. You know, it's a joke. It's not fighting, you know, kind of stuff. But we laughed and we were really amazed. We never thought about it. It was amazing how far along we came. That the kids taught us disagreeing was a fight. They won't fight. If they ever was brought up in my family, they would be traumatized. And they have to go kill us and give me help. You know, that's how bad my family was. So, you know, I was like, wow. But I was really blessed to see that we've come a long way. That even though we're angry, we never rip each other apart to the point where we wound each other. You see, that's one of the dangerous things is that we don't realize that when we cuss and we use words that we shouldn't be using or things from the past to, judge the person you're fighting with, that's just full on cheating. Right? That's cheating because you're not dealing with the issue that's at hand. You're really trying to make them hurt. You want to wound them. And that spirit is a nasty spirit. That spirit belongs to Satan. And that's why it's so crazy when we get like that. We need to realize anytime we're cussing or cutting down anybody's spirit, that we are not being Christians at all. And once again, we bring dishonor to God. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take you, but each of us need to learn how to change that type of lifestyle, that type of speaking. It's just not good. And the more we continue to keep that, the more we leave ourselves vulnerable and open to the enemy's work. We start doing this like a fish out of water. Because what we say is usually what's coming from the inside. That means there's a lot of work on the inside. So Proverbs 12:18 says, reckless words pierce like a sword, but the tongue of the wise bring healing. So, you see, the scripture is telling us that we got to watch our words because our words tear down, and the Bible says God doesn't tear down, He builds up, right? Satan tears down. See, when God created us, He knew He created something good. How did He know that? We were created exactly like Him. Right? And it was so precious to Him, you and I, that He sent Jesus Christ to die on the cross. How cool is that? That's how valuable we are. That's how precious we are. Right? And so, we got to watch what we say and how we representing ourselves. Because ladies, you have no idea the power your words have when you release your tongue. Right? You can build up your husband and children, you can help them to strive for great things, or you can pull them the rug right from under them and have them fall. The guy is probably thinking, wow, yeah, that's true. Well, men, you need to be just as careful. You see, you have the possibility of building up your wives and children and helping them become godly women, right? Or you can cause them to be bitter, ugly, resentful women that in the relationship what you deal with is anger and frustration. You see, in this relationship between a man, a woman, and their children, our words that we use must be censored. It must be, how would you say, tempered in a way that when it's set forth, it doesn't damage the hearts of those we love. Because if we're not careful, we destroy the hearts of those that we love the most. Because that's the ones that we're usually the worst with when it comes to voicing our anger and frustration. I know this because that's how I was with Cal. Yeah. So she's my girlfriend at the time, and I just let it go. And I didn't mean it, but that's how I needed to voice it, but I just had to learn that there was a different way I needed to do it, where it wasn't compromising our relationship or even damaging our relationship. I can say what I feel, but it has to be said at a different time and a whole different way. Does that make sense? Right? And sometimes we think, oh, but they don't get the effect. They don't understand how deep it is. No. Use the right words, and they will understand. Both ways. Right? So we got to be careful, because if we're not careful, those words that we're using and the damages that we cause will create what we call generational curses. Generational curses is when our children continue our habits. Well, mom and dad fight that way. So when I don't get my girlfriend or boyfriend, we won't fight that way. It's okay. We did it all the time. Mom punched dad's eye, dad punched mom's eye. So, when you get into a heated conversation, you punch your girl's eye, you're not going to feel like anything wrong. She punched you back. See, this is how it's supposed to work. You punch me, I punch you. It's ridiculous. It's a lie of the enemy. So even with Kiao and I, my father and my mom was very abusive to each other. And so when the time came, I didn't want the same type of relationship. But I'm going to be really honest. I didn't have to try to not have a relationship like my mom did. It just happened. I didn't have to try to become my mom and dad's relationship. It just came out of me. That's what I knew. That's what I understood. That's the way I behaved. Eventually, I saw myself living my parents' same life, and I said, I cannot do this. I won't do this. And so I had to make a very clear decision of saying, once I see this habit start, I will change it. And I needed Cal's help. So I told Cal, this happened. Let me know, because that's my mom, damn. I don't want to do like that. And so eventually what happened is we started changing, our relationship started changing. But I needed help for that. Okay? Because cutting words can really, really damage each other, and arguing amongst each other can really damage the household and each other. Alright? There is constructive arguing, where we argue to get something done, and there's the other type of arguing where you argue just because you want to argue. My mom and dad, they fought all the time. They would argue when there was nothing there to argue about. It was their love relationship. I mean, it's crazy. They was really sick, you know what I mean? I'm telling you. But yeah, when they argue, they mad, but they happy. Because that's what they knew. Alright, and I'm older, and I don't want to argue, And she's like, oh, you talk. I said, why? I don't even argue about that, kind of stuff. And so we still different. Like, I have to be careful, because arguing isn't a tool that was meant to spice up the relationship, It wasn't there to, oh yeah, see, I knew you love me. No, that's stupid, right? Arguing is there to discuss our opinions, which are different, and come up with the best decision to benefit us as a whole. And arguing in a way where it's really just us sharing, because that's what the word means. I'm telling you what I feel, you're telling me what I feel. We're not getting together, we gotta figure this out. Okay? So it's not a bad thing. It can be a good thing, but we cannot argue just because we want to argue. You guys know how it is. I'll make a man watch. I'm gonna say something, watch that. Watch. Right? And then you think it's funny. But the other person that just irritating, got all mad, I think that's funny, and they rip your eyeballs out, right? And then now something that's supposed to be, whoa, it's just one joke, well, you shouldn't have gone there, but it wasn't a joke, and now it gets back to one big, but it didn't have to be. Right? Proverbs 17:1. Better a dry crust eaten in peace than a house with feasting and conflict. That's sad. I mean, we're going to eat stale bread and not have conflict, then be filled with a house with all the best food and fight all day long. It is sad but true. Give me the dry bread, right? I've been too much hungry, and it's not even worth it. You know, just too much hassle. So the thing is this: you got to ask yourself this question, okay? Are you, with your mouth, making your home a place your children and your spouse enjoy coming home to, or do you make it a place they avoid at every opportunity? You gotta ask yourself that question. Right? Do I make my mouth, does it make my family want to come home and hang out, or does it tell them, run, mom or dad's about to talk? Because the answer is very important. If the answer is yes, when I open my mouth, there's havoc in my house, everybody wants to run, then we need to do some fixing. The home's supposed to be a safe zone. It is the one place where you go no matter what is happening in your world that you feel the most peaceful at. If your house is not peaceful, something is wrong. You should never ever be uncomfortable or not have peace in your own house. Never. Something's wrong. That means something is going on and it needs to be fixed. I'm not saying you cannot have problems. You know, I have my son that's 21 already. He's irritating me. But that's just him. But when I go to my house, I don't go home and want to leave. Everybody else can leave. But I'm at peace in my house. You know what I mean? And I just want to make sure you guys understand. It's not saying that we don't have issues or we don't have problems. But when I come home, I get peace in my house. It's the one place I sit down and go, if I don't want to clean, I don't want to clean. You don't want to look at my house, don't look. I never tell you to look anyway, right? You don't want to come in because it's not clean, I never asked you to come in. But stay out. Oh, outside this is dirty. Well, go to the neighbor's house. They're like, is it this here? I don't care. When I'm in my domain, yeah, my domain is where I just feel so peaceful that I don't worry about what people think, and then I just let myself be who I am, and I be clean, of course, but please don't be sloppy and say the pastor said, be sloppy. No. Don't do that. But you guys have a point about being at peace in your own house. So important, man. Because all day long you're out there fighting the world. The last thing you need to do is come home and start fighting in your own house. So not cool. So if the answer is yes, some changing got to be done. The fourth thing that is very negative about the way we can use our lips or speech is bragging. Proverbs 6:16-19, there are 6 things the Lord hates. No, 7 things he detests. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill the innocent, a heart that plots evil, feet that race to do wrong, a false witness who pours out lies, a person who sows discord in a family. And when you read this, right, I love the way it's emphasized that it says the Lord hates. He goes, no, the Lord really hates. And then he goes and he lists all these things. And you notice that murder is a little bit down the line. The first thing that's mentioned is haughty eyes. It's talking about this bragging person. It's talking about people who how would you say? It's all about them. You know, we know people like that. Me. Oh, I get on a good job, I make a lot of money, I do this, I do that, you know. Oh yeah, I got this and I that. You know, we know people like that. And the scripture in the Bible that's really cool, because you don't really think about it, is when it says, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. right? It's not there so that you can, be multitask. That's not multitask message, yeah? No, your right hand doing this, right hand, don't get confused. No, it's saying that we cannot be such boastful people that, hey, by the way, you saw me do this. You saw me be here. I was like, oh my gosh, we had one at work that was really irritating. So this person, all into themselves, and acts like it at work, goes and make a big announcement in the cafeteria, says, oh, check it out, you guys saw the news? And I'm like, I don't pay attention. I don't like you. I have problems with you. I mean, this is crazy. And so I was on the news. So I'm thinking, why would you be on the news? I know you. There's nothing special going on in your life. And I think, oh, you're such an ugly person right now, right? I go, yeah, the guy makes me ugly, kind of stuff. And I said, oh Lord, just let me go. Just let me stay focused. So I just do my own thing and then talking. And then the person comes back, another person comes and goes, you heard what it was all about? And I go, no. Oh, it was filming about an accident and they wanted this person's opinion or thoughts. And that was all the excitement about me. Yeah, I go, yeah. This person thought he was like in Hollywood or something, Like, oh, give me a break. And it's got to pray for me too, okay? But these people are so into themselves, they don't see that they do anything wrong. And they're very hurtful. Because if they're not included in the first seat, or the highlighted seat, or the seat of acknowledgement, they're not happy. And they'll steal your seat if they have to. You guys know anybody like that? I know several people like that. And what's so sad? I know some of those people that I know, they're Christians. God, they gotta read the Bible, but God will deal with them. It's not just people who don't know the Lord, Christians too. In fact, this is telling us as Christians what to be careful of, right? Because we can see all of this type of people in the church, all the different degrees, right, on levels. Some are always us, right? So, you want to be boastful, boast about God. As you lift him up, he'll lift you up. It's one of those things, right? You bless his name and he'll bless you, right? It's just, he's the one that deserves all the glory. Hey, you making plenty of money? Awesome. God bless you. If you're not making plenty of money, hey, God bless you. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But we get so caught up in our identity as far as the world is concerned that we lose that the most important thing is our spiritual identity. Because that's going to determine where we end up. Right? I may not have all the riches right now, but one day I'm going to be walking in the street of gold. I'm going to be free. I'll be flying over the street of gold. I don't know what are the wings, okay? The fifth negative thing about our speech is, of course, joking. Ephesians 4:29. Don't use foul or abusive languages. Let everybody say, let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. Now, this is the part where it's important. If we are noticing that we are swearing, we are cussing, saying different words, whatever, stuff that isn't right, okay? Because, nobody knows us better than ourselves, and I'll be very honest with you. When I went to church, I learned how to have an off and on switch. I knew how to behave when I was in church. After I went to church, that thing went down. The old junior came on. And anytime we had a church function, turn it back on again. Got in the car, went off. And we just, and I got so good at that. Here's the problem. That eventually, what was happening was I became so good at this that people couldn't catch me. And I was like, because, I'm a good con, right? I mean, and I think all of us can say that we are pretty good actors, right? Actresses. Well, I got the Grammy Award one year, and so I was really good at this. And so I was just doing my own thing and everything. And we hang around with this church guys, and then he said something, and just would slip out. Just would slip out. The off button got stuck in the middle like that. I would look like a fluorescent light, like, like it's flashing, like, was out there. Oh, I felt so ashamed, right? Because like everybody, if this ever happened to you in a community of Christian people, you know how it feels like that. And I wanted to run church right away and go to a different church where nobody knew me, and they all looked, and some was laughing, some was like looking like evil, kind of stuff. And I just don't know. I was numb, and I was like, I'm so sorry, and everything, and it looked like some people, how some will encourage you, it's okay, The other one was like, no, you should be sorry. I mean, like I'm going to hell already, But here's the thing, because it was still in me, inside, it slipped out. That's why it's so important to find a way to change, but change completely from the inside. See, we can change the outside. We do that all the time, right? Look in the mirror, pluck our eyebrow, add some also that, put some little red cheeks and red lips and whatever. And I talk about the ladies, but nowadays I check the guys out, we still plucking their eyebrows too, looking all good. I see one guy having one facial the other day. I was like, really? When your guys facial, but not doing all these pop out. They do the facial, right? All the stuff, all these things. And I was like, oh, but hey, whatever. But we are good, people are good at covering up. And so we need to realize that we cannot do patch jobs. We gotta really go inside and dig out. If we're swearing and cussing and using that kind of language, we gotta get this place of conviction where it bothers us, right? And it bothers us so much that we don't want to say it. And even when we want to see it, we fight. You ever kind of like that? When I was starting to learn how to not swear, it was hard. I don't know how many times I literally hit my tongue, right? Because I work coming out and the tongue is rolling and I'm putting it down my tongue, I felt like that was God trying to be good for you, You're letting it roll too much, But eventually I found out, I shared this with you guys, my way of trying to train myself was every time I thought about that word or said a bad word, I would worship the Lord, give him the praise. Eventually that started to change. Why did it change? Because I was putting something different inside. Right? I wasn't keeping the same stuff inside. See, when I was swearing, I said, Lord, forgive me, I want to bless your name. And I started doing that, and eventually, that when I wanted to swear, it was a habit that I worship God, so I would automatically start worshiping the Lord before I swear. And then I swear and I was worshiping Him, I was like, kind of like, hey, I'm setting myself out over there, I was my own therapist. But it worked. And I realized, okay, you know what? This is the importance of feeding something new in my life. Because if not, the old still going to have to come out, right? We need to change. That's why the Lord says, what is Scripture? We're doing the changes from the inside out. They're giving you a brand new spirit. Okay, lastly, I'm trying to watch all the time to make communion. I know my wife, she's over here, what it is, all the time, excessive talking, Proverbs 10:19. Too much talking leads to sin. Be sensible and keep your mouth shut. I so love this when I was reading this. You ever got in a group where one person just talks and talks and talks? I mean, they talk so much they forgot what they're saying and they start telling lies along the way, and you're like, are you just... you're like, hey, nothing wrong with that. Because we didn't have a conversation that he just told me another story earlier. I heard this, And so sometimes we gotta be very careful. Too much talking, no good. More listening is better. Right? Too many people, they talk. And they talk about all kind of fake and phony stuff that the lie starts to reveal itself. Yeah? You guys know exactly what it is. You guys know. I mean, I get friends that like that. And like I know you're lying. You know that, right? I don't know what's good. So you're going to continue to lie to me? You liar, But that's the kind. So now when I talk with them, I know they're lying. I never trust anything they say. But that's our relationship. I have a lying friend, So what we need to do is just be careful. Sometimes we talk too much, trying to cover up stuff that should be talked about. Yeah, you gotta tell something. You're beating around the bush. You're telling all this stuff instead of just get to the point, looking at the problem, and looking at the solve. So now, what happens? We got all this. What we got to do? Well, there's some steps to helping us improve our speech. The first is confess. Quit making excuses for your mouth. If you get a dirty mouth, you get a dirty mouth. Stop pretending that it's a clean mouth. Alright? Confess that you get bad speech. Yeah, you perverted. You're just nasty. Right? You cuss too much, whatever, be honest. And that's you cannot change sin or acknowledge sin. If you cannot change sin if you don't acknowledge sin, right? So you cannot have victory over sin if you don't tell God what the problem is. God knows the problem. But He needs us to confess it, because when we confess it, we're saying to Him, I know what I'm supposed to do. And His thing is to us is, okay, now do it. Right? So admitting our sin will soon give us victory. Now confessing like this one time, two times, it's like, oh, I got a bad mouth. I just wanted to let you know. No. Confessing is when you confess and there's like regret. Yeah? It's a different level of telling on yourself. It's a level of, I need help, so please help me. That's what that confession is. It's not the kind, I'm just letting you know so you don't get use them on me. No, I need help. That's that part. Pray. Get help where help is available. Right? That's why we love small groups. We get many churches, we have ministries, because that's where we get to, hang out. In fact, I love ministry because that's where I usually bust everybody. Right? I bust everybody in ministry. Get them involved in ministry or in some kind of event thing, and then you get them talking. And then you kind of pump up the level of stress, right? And you kind of get all the chaotic with them, and all of a sudden you go, boop, it just drops right there, and you're like, aha, right? I see this, and I see that, and that's why I love ministry. Ministry is because you are a certain person, it reveals, as it being tempered in the ministry, your personality is revealed. You can't lie about it. Actually, my pastor taught me this. He goes, you only have to hang around people long enough for them to crack. And once that happens, he goes, you know the whole story. Then I realized why he's hanging around with me so much. I thought he liked me. But the heart is this. You can only lie for so long before your true identity slips out. That's why I love ministry. And when that happens, then we can start working on what we need to work on. Then I realize, okay, I need help here. You see, sometimes you need help, but you don't know how to ask for it. But when you're in ministry or you're around guys and you get this breakage, and then it goes, wow, I see there's a problem here. And you don't have to solve it. I don't always solve the problems, I send other people. I said, you know what, this person, I think you can do this. You go and check it out. And then you work with them, right? And so sure enough, it comes out, oh yeah, I guess this, but then eventually through ministry and that relationship, that's not a problem anymore. Of course, being human, there's other problems that's always lying beneath the surface, but it can only fix one problem at a time. But praying and knowing where to get help. In the first place, of course, is to ask God. James 4:2, right, says you have not because you haven't asked. James is saying, you don't have control because you don't have the desire to change it. So ask God and allow God to use His tools, the ministry, the church, to help you to grow into the man or the woman that He wants you to be. That's why we have all these ministries and like I said, events. It's for us to grow with each other. Third is spend time with God. Matthew 15:18. But those things which proceed of the mouth come forth from the heart and they defile the man. It's the stuff I was talking about earlier, right? What we have inside got to come out. And so, if we're going to control our tongue, then we need to have a transplant, a heart transplant, right? We need to change the way we are feeling and the way we see the world. A great illustration is this. You take a cup, and it doesn't have to be full with water, right? But you take a cup, and in the cup there's water. And all you gotta do is shake it enough for everything to spill out, right? And so when that happens, we're the same way. It only takes a little bit to shake us up before everything starts spilling out of us. It's gonna happen. So I figure if that's the case, then why don't we start filling ourselves up with the things of the Lord so that we run it over. What runs over is the blessings of God. Let God take the bitterness and the frustration and the anger away so that we can be the positive influence that God wants us to be in the world we live in. You see, the more we fill our minds with the things of God, with the words of God, the better off we become as far as people who are the likeness of God or the likeness of Jesus, therefore becoming a disciple of Jesus. Right? That should be our goal, to be a disciple of Jesus. And, it's not easy. We're not supposed to be the disciple John, Paul, and all of them. They had their time. You're supposed to be disciple Vaughn, right? Disciple Jason, Steph, and so forth. This is our time. We are the new disciples for the Lord, and we need to stand strong. Now, Scripture says that if we're not careful, just a little yeast in the flour can cause the dough to rise. And that was the heart of eating unleavened bread. Yeah, we're gonna have communion. That was bread without yeast, so it was like flat bread, because the yeast in the bread was symbolic of how sin enters into our life and then starts to grow. So he says, take out the sin, and you still get bread. But if the difference is you can get this big bread, but in that whole big bread is sin. So we got to be careful as Christians, not to allow sin to come into our lives, because when it comes in our life, it will soon start to expand. And although some sin feels bad, I want to be honest, some sin feels really good. Does that make it good? No.
That's why we need to be very careful. God gave us this wonderful tool called a tongue to witness and to praise Him and to worship Him. Unfortunately, too many of us use it for the very opposite. Yeah, not crazy, yeah? So I pray, this week that we would just take an evaluation of our hearts again and say, do I use this foul language? If yes, okay, what should I do to correct it? If no, okay, good. Or do I gossip? If I do, then what can I do to change it? Am I boastful? I mean, you got all those 6 things that we talked about. If any one of those you're struggling with, or maybe not struggling yet, but you kind of dab a little bit, dab it out. You don't need that. Because eventually, it'll lead to sin. And that sin is going to destroy our relationship with the Lord. Why? Because to continue to do sin, you need to harden your heart to the ways of the Lord. You cannot continue to sin and go, I love you, Lord. Don't feel cool. You feel drunk. You guys ever sin and right away go, I love you, Jesus. I just in 6 seconds ago. Oh, if you did, please come. I want to pray for you. When I sin, I feel really drunk. I go, Lord, I'm sorry. And I need some time to just have a crybaby moment, Oh, I'm so stupid. And I hear the Lord go, you are. Well, I know I am, all kind of stuff. And then that's all He says, and I beat myself up for the rest of the 10 minutes, you know what I mean? But here's the thing. We are created for great things, I don't care what is your health condition, your spiritual condition. If you love Jesus, you are created for something great. You just got to figure out how God wants to use you. Which is something really cool. I'm going to be ready to end. We went to the old folks home. Bringing some days with everybody's stuff and gifts, and we went up there. I'm expecting to see like about 10 people. They had that room filled with like about 25, if not maybe more people. And some of them was very responsive, some of them not. But we got there, and actually, she took her cane, she was fitting right in there, and she went to one corner with another lady that was Kolohe from Nanukuli, right? And before we got started, they were starting on their own, you know what I mean? Like she wouldn't own all the place or something, and then we went over there, and they just having their thing, so I was like, oh, we're going to keep playing, But it was really great. But you know what? What was so crazy? We shared afterwards what we left with, and one of the things we left with really huge was, what we take for granted, this we long for. This fellowship, that we can come here and talk stupid about each other, just being human beings, and but we love each other. They desire that. They went in there, and that's all they wanted was to just like have a conversation. The stuff we take for granted and we try to avoid, I'm gonna say hi today, whatever. They hunger for that. And it was so crazy. They loved the Hawaiian music and the hula, and they'd come back. Right, we had one guy all the way in the back in a wheelchair, and up in the middle, then into the front, and then right in the front, right? And I wanted to share this. And so when we got to the end, we didn't have enough gifts to give everybody. So we looked on the board, and they had 3 names. There was 3 birthdays out that month. One went home, one was in another room we couldn't get to, and one was in a room that was right next to us. They went and took away. This spark thing it was. And here's the crazy thing. He was so excited. He was telling them to bring him to the church now, right then in there. And later on, the nurse told us that when we come back next month, we may not see him. He was on the ending journey of his life. But I was really moved, and it kind of shook me up. Again, let's not take relationship that we have with each other for granted. These people hunger for that. And they all like you just talk with them. And someone was talking bubbles. You know, Auntie was going over and over that she's from Nanakuli and keep telling me her name and, you know, what is my name? And I was like, you know, and I thought her name was Soda. That's what, you know, I cannot hear, right? So she goes, what is my name? And I go, oh, what a kind. I said, Soda, like Soda. So that's what I thought she said, Soda. She said, so 2 seconds later, what is my name? Soda. Yeah. I'm all started praying. Like, I think her name is Dora. And she was happy with Soda. That's how much she wanted me to. But, yeah, you know, the Lord is saying, watch our language to each other. Take care of each other. Encourage each other. Because, you know what? What we have is a powerful, powerful tool for Jesus. And if we can take care of ourselves up here, then we show ourselves worthy, more than capable to take care of anybody that comes off the street into our church. Whether they're drug addicts, alcoholics, you know, psychotically not there, whatever, I don't know. But it doesn't matter what condition they are in. All that matters is they need Jesus, that we have a house that they can come to worship. That makes sense. You know, but this is training ground, so let's start learning to talk nice to each other and be encouragers. Amen? Let's bow our heads.